Night Football. When's our Monday Night Football next week? I can't. Mark was just saying there's 2 afternoon games left, 2 1 o'clock
That's
games.
it.
2 Sunday 1 o'clock games left. Now they do have, Thanksgiving is a 1 o'clock game now.
12:30, I think, but yeah.
And then the Bears game could be flexed at the end because the Bears suck to a 1 o'clock. But yeah, no, a lot of night games, a lot of 4 o'clock games.
Thanksgiving's not at 11:30 or
no, they moved it back to 1 now. Remember,
Okay.
remember Maz had that tweet last year, and everyone jumped on him like, Maz, they moved it to 1 o'clock. It's like, God, nobody's allowed to make a mistake.
I forgot about that. All right, Eli, what do you say? Eli's brought to us by Dr. Yaldo.
Well, as most good gamblers know, that doesn't include Mark, who had a tough weekend.
Why am I taking arrows?
As most good gamblers know, you have a tough team coming off a tough loss. They're going to be hard to beat the next week. And Kansas City had to have that game last night. This is obviously we're doing on Monday. It happened last night. If they'd slipped to 2-4, they might not even made the playoffs. And so that's what they were up against. But, they made Mahomes was great, but the Lions are hurting. They're hurting in the defensive backfield. And most games are decided by 3 or 4 plays. And what sticks out to me over the night was the perfect answer that Dan Campbell gave at the halftime interview. And he was coming off the field with his veins in his neck popping out and just basically saying, we made 3 mistakes and we'll clean that up. Otherwise, we're going to be fine. And they did make 3 classic mistakes 2 classic mistakes, but 3.
Run down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, number 1, obviously, they decide to take the ball on the opening kickoff, which is an aggressive play. It wasn't stupid because they just ground their way down the field. It was impressive. It was a 10-minute drive plus Gibbs running, Laporta catching, Amon St. Brown making catches. They grind it to 1st and goal in the half-yard line. They call timeout, and they don't know the rule. This is incredible. The play where on 4th and a half, was it a half yard? It was like 6 inches.
Wasn't much.
And Goff, doesn't come to a set as he moves away from the quarterback position and rolls to the left, where Montgomery threw him the touchdown pass, a great block by St. Brown. But they stopped the game for an hour and for 1:20, not knowing we don't know what's going on, and the officials confer. And yes, he needed to come to a stop. He needed to establish himself in the backfield, and he didn't. It's a little known rule. You rarely see it because teams don't try trick plays like this, but they didn't know the rule, and that cost them. That cost them 4 points. The next one, they're coming down
you know what? They were going to go for it too, but they had a delay of game.
Yep.
Yeah. Delay of game, and they had to bring it back, and they had to kick a field goal.
Don't you guys feel that play was too cool to call a penalty on anyway?
Kind
It
of.
was a great play.
It's a little. Wait, isn't it a little complex from the half-yard line to throw a pass?
Yeah, why not do a
it's
tush
insane.
push? Why can't we do a tush push for 6 inches?
Yeah, well, I think everybody knows that's going to happen. They like a little trickeration.
I mean, you do
Regardless,
Chris Jones versus our young interior line. I don't know.
That was our 3rd trick play on the drive, wasn't it?
so it was a collective mistake because the coaching staff should have known, Goff should have known, they all should have known.
But
and
it's
they didn't.
it's just annoying when they take 3 minutes to just sit and talk and then throw a flag. It's like, if you guys don't see it right away, bullshit.
Well, but
Because it's not like
Yeah,
we
is
could
it reviewable?
No, it's not reviewable. Not at all.
what-
But it's
what
not
the
like
fuck?
all touchdowns are reviewable. They're all
they're all
automatically
reviewed, but not that play they couldn't then throw a flag on.
Kansas City didn't know anything about it either. They had no
No.
idea that they had broken a rule. They were just as confused as everybody. You got to give the officials credit, and that's one of them. The second one,
I don't think I want to give the officials credit.
No, fuck them.
they called it right. They got it right.
Yeah, but if it takes that long, it shouldn't count.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, they miss calls
It's
all
almost-
the time.
Let me ask you this: if it
It's
happened,
almost like,
like last night.
wasn't it almost like a review?
Yes, very much so.
I mean,
I mean,
timing-wise-
they didn't have the
my only
cameras, but
question is,
yeah.
would you be saying the same thing if Kansas City did it and they took their time to call it against
Of
them?
course not.
Of course
You would have
not.
said
No,
brilliant,
What are we talking about, Eli?
brilliant officiating job.
What are you talking about?
Anyway, Kansas City and then charges down the field. Man, they played fast. So the Lions take 11 minutes in the drive. Kansas zip, a big short pass to Kelsey, big yards after catch. Schuster, Pacheco a run to the 13. They score a TD, boom to Worthy. Takes 4 minutes. They miss the point after touchdown then. And then the Lions come back, score a touchdown. Great play. J-Mo across the middle.
Mhm.
The offensive line is
what a
blowing everybody
pass.
away. Beautiful across the middle. Then he carries people into the end zone. It's 10-6. Okay, so they do very well in the next. They stop Kansas City, but then they have a chance to go up 17-6, and on 4th and 1, Amon St. Brown, the first pass, he did not drop a pass all of 2024, not a single drop pass.
Wait, what?
That was mistake number 2.
He never drops passes.
Never drops passes.
Amon-Ra.
In my notes, I say it's the first pass he's ever dropped for the
It's
Lions.
pretty rare, yeah.
And so that would haunt them. They only got 3 possessions in the half, so they left 11 points on the field. And then as Kansas City charges down the field after that with time running out, 3rd and 10, pass interference on the Rock Yassin, maybe questionable.
I thought that was a terrible call.
Yeah,
The
but
Kelsey one down the sideline, that was an awful
If it
call.
wasn't Kelsey, they wouldn't have called it.
I hate saying that, but I kind of felt that way, right?
They gave him a catch later
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
That was not a catch. It wasn't even close.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Mahomes runs it in. Now it's 13-10 at the half. So the Lions start beautifully in the second half. I should take that back. After Kansas City scores
Did you cover all
again-
3 mistakes? The drop pass?
No, I got one more coming.
Okay.
One more coming. That was I'll jump to it. That's Hutchinson
Yeah.
with the score now 20-17. They come within a touchdown on an incredible touchdown catch by Laporta.
God,
My God, how did he? It was just amazing. He not only with one hand, but somehow he stopped his momentum so he could just come right down on the goal line and touch in bounds, or
The
not the
end
goal line,
line.
but the end line. Amazing. So, but then Kansas City starts deep. They're it's 2017. But what happens? Hutchinson on 2nd and 7, their own 34, roughs the passer. He should have restricted his run. He knocks Mahomes down. That gives him the ball from the 34 to the 49.
That was not a questionable call, was it?
Not at all. Not
Yeah.
at all.
No.
And they go down to score and make it 27-17, 9.5 left.
I mean, that it was a mistake, but at the same time, then he completed like passes of 10 yards, 12 yards,
Sure.
8 yards.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I thought the linebackers were awful. last night.
Linebackers are awful because they were down
Yeah.
defensive backs.
But
So
you'd
you got
rather
to
have
try-
3 linebackers out there that are slow than even the next defensive back, your 13th defensive back. I don't know.
In fact, who was the guy? Thomas Hardy, was that his name? I thought Thomas Harper. I'm thinking,
Yeah,
isn't he a famous author? Isn't he a British author? Never heard of
I don't
him.
know about that.
He
He made a
beautiful-
great play. On
beautiful
fourth
play,
down. Yeah.
stopping Chiefs on
Mhm.
4th and 1.
I couldn't get over how quickly Mahomes was making plays happen. He was not sitting around in the pocket for long periods of time and having to scramble. I mean, they had a lot of plays that developed really fast.
Really fast. Same thing when we were
That's what-
talking earlier. Same
yeah.
thing that USC did to Michigan. But yeah,
Yeah, you're
Mahomes
right.
was 22 of 30. He was terrific. 257 yards, 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Hollywood Brown,
Ugh.
otherwise known as Marquise. And it's
Great grill on that guy, by the way.
yeah.
When he scored, did you see that? All
Yes.
the time. Jeez.
you got to hand it to the Chiefs. The Lions have bullied people around. They made quick plays to deal with the Lions' physicality. Very effective. The graphic in the beginning of the game where they showed the 5 defensive backs that are out doesn't mention that Branch has been hurt. And boy, did he hurt the team. That's number 5. Number 5 is the fight after the game that could cost Branch a suspension against Tampa coming in here with Baker Mayfield, who's the MVP so far.
He was playing. God, he had a run yesterday that was just
Amazing.
Crazy. Where
He's
he
so
faked throwing the ball into the ground.
Oh.
Oh my God, was that? Did you guys see that play?
Yeah.
yes,
yeah.
amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. So,
This schedule's a bitch.
It is. Most
Mhm.
games are
That's what
decided.
happens when you're good.
Yeah.
Most games decided on 3 or 4 plays. Of course, Kansas City could point to a few also, but they did wind up winning. And it was the game started. I'm watching the whole broadcast. I want to just absorb it all. And the Chiefs are a great story, but it's an older story. The Lions are still more of a new story. And the whole beginning of the game was hyping the Lions. You had Tony Dungy's interview with Campbell, and they're all just Maria Taylor says, "Who wouldn't want to play for the Lions and Coach Campbell?" It's like building him up because he deserves it, and how hard the team plays, how their tough love philosophy, they totally buy in, playing at a high pace. The receivers block downfield, they go hard on every play, but that didn't pay off last night because of the mistakes. And it's just what happens in a season. What?
I didn't mean to pile on because Amon-Ra's probably my favorite player. Did he kind of drop a second pass? that was in his hands? Or was it too far? Was it maybe it was a little far for
One
him?
went through later, I think, but
It was a harder catch, I
yeah,
believe.
I don't-
Okay. I don't want to be this guy because obviously Branch shouldn't have done it, but why did he hit that? What'd that guy do to Branch to make him hit him?
It was the most egregious non-call in that game, and there were plenty of non-calls. We talked about the pass interference. There were plenty of holding calls that I felt weren't called, but then again, we didn't really get called for holding, so that must not have been a focus.
Right.
I meant, why did Branch
I'm
hit the
gonna
guy?
get so
Okay.
Juju Smith-Schuster had a crack back block in the back, not on the line. I mean, it's off the line. Brandon, you have the video?
I
for
do.
it? And this is why he was pissed off, and it happened more than once. Back it
Yeah,
up so you can see
yeah.
where he
And
circled.
that's Schuster that nailed him from behind.
Bam. There's
Oh yeah, that's a cheap shot.
It's a cheap shot. So he was pissed off about that. He was pissed off at Mahomes because when Mahomes scored, he pointed at Branch and flexed in front of him. Do you remember when Mahomes scored?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
why-
If he's, I don't know if he's doing that.
What was that all about?
Well, he's celebrating, but he's doing it in Branch's face. So Branch is a little pissy about
Branch
that.
happened to be there. From Mahomes, I don't think Mahomes doesn't
I
do
don't-
that shit.
no,
He doesn't do that stuff.
no,
Okay,
not
wait,
really.
hold that thought for 1 second. Did you see Mahomes' interview before the game and after the game?
No, what did he say?
He's talking really fast.
Yeah.
He talks really fast.
I was like, is there some flocka going on here or some?
Bath
Is he
salts.
doing a few lines? I mean, what is going on?
Doing a few lines.
But so Branch doesn't accept Mahomes' handshake after the game. Schuster tries to, pat him, come and say good game, and he slaps him in the head, knocks him to the ground, and the whole thing starts. He shouldn't have done it, and he could get. And I wasn't aware. He's been fined 13 times, 130.
I know.
I remember he threw the
13
helmet
I
and he
know.
flipped the bird. I didn't think so. So the league.
I had no idea.
I had no
13
idea it was
Yeah.
that much either. $130,000 in fines. So
This is what pisses me off about it. I had Get Up, that ESPN show on with Rex Ryan, a bunch of other jamokes talking, and the pearl clutching over the fight at the end of the game was just pissing me
Oh
off.
God!
Because then they start saying, this is a national game. This is Kansas City. This is a standalone Sunday night game. They have to suspend him. They all agree. And so when that noise coming from these former players are out there saying they have to suspend him, what is the NFL going to do? They're going to suspend him because the noise is so loud. I think that's bullshit. It was these guys
A
bust
little
their ass.
slap in the helmet.
They're fucking warriors
No,
in this insane physical game, and then just because the clock ends, they're supposed to be like, all right, cool.
The
What's going
NFL
on, guys? I mean, I understand why he's pissed off. He shouldn't have done it. I get
No,
it. I understand.
It was the
that,
wrong
but-
guy. Go hit the referee then. But of course, you can't do that either. But I mean, it wasn't Schuster's fault. He was playing the game, and they didn't call it. Probably 100 penalties go uncalled. Few that blatant, especially on the end of the line where you can see what happened.
Well, there's that stat too that's been floating around. The Chiefs had 13 penalties last week against Jacksonville and
Was it
zero last
zero
night. You're
last
telling me
night.
they cleaned up everything in one
Anyway,
They
week?
had 0 penalties last
Zero.
night.
They had one flag for an offside towards the end of the game, and that's it.
Oh, that's right.
Well,
That's it.
the NFL is
Wow.
leaning hard on sportsmanship this year. They throw a lot of flags for taunting.
Sportsmanship.
I know. Isn't
Tracking
that,
down-
isn't
Are
that-
you
isn't that
joking?
And
laughable?
they also like to make an example about, just like Joe Dumars made an example out of Draymond Green, and Brian Branch is now the Draymond Green of the NFL. You do this shit enough times and you're used as an example.
Mhm.
And so he's an example. And we don't know if he's going to get suspended. Hopefully
Oh,
not.
he will because
But-
of everyone saying that he's going to get suspended.
so
They're
how-
making it come true.
It was stupid, and it would really hurt the Lions, especially with their defensive back.
Yeah.
And interesting, after the game, Dan Campbell didn't talk about the game at all at first. His first thing was to talk about Branch. You got that, Brandon?
I do.
I love Brian Branch, but what he did is inexcusable, and it's not going to be accepted here. It's not what we do. It's not what we're about. I apologize to Coach Reed and the Chiefs, and and shoot. That's not okay. We that's not what we do here, and it's not going to be okay. He knows it. Our team knows it, and so that's not what we do.
It's kind of harsh. I mean, when JMO fucks up, he goes, "Yeah, JMO cleaned it up. He apologized to the team. Everything's cool."
That's because it was off
definitely
the
went
field.
down. Came
Don't you
down
think
hard
that-
on
don't you
Branch.
Because
think
it wasn't
that-
on camera.
Don't you think, though, the league may take that into consideration? It isn't like Campbell said, well, it was a shitty, should have been a
Well, not
call.
to
blah, blah, blah.
mention-
So at least he's saying, yeah, we made a mistake. Don't kill us for it.
Well, Branch apologized too.
Yeah.
In the locker room,
Oh, okay.
he mentioned that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
shouldn't have done that. I'm not supposed to do
Got
that.
that? Yeah, play that, Brandon.
But that
Perfect
motherfucker.
team to play, and refs don't catch it. So, like, trying to bully me out there. I should have never did it. It was childish.
How do you process the way it went down for you
So
guys
painful to
tonight?
watch a guy who doesn't want to talk to the media.
Having a winning streak snapped and coming in here against a tough opponent.
Are you focused on the guy breathing really hard?
What happened between the plays? What are you referring to?
I got blocked in the back illegally, and it was in front of the ref. The ref didn't do anything.
Who is that?
I don't know, but he's taking forever to
Stuff
breathe.
like that. And
Isn't it a breathing
I
machine?
could've got hurt off of that.
But don't you know the ventilators?
I
don't
can't
work?
even hear anything Branch is saying. I just hear.
Somebody hit you in the back. Juju hit you in the back. Yes. So Juju in particular was the one that hit you? Or?
Yes.
All right, this is a poor guy. Let him go.
Yeah,
Branson says he wants to throw up. He's so
I should have showed it during the whistle, not after the game, and I apologize for that.
What sort of discipline, if any, do you expect from Lee, or you got to hope there's nothing?
Who is that?
I don't know, but I'm worried about him.
you give an iron lung.
Darth Vader. Oh, I'm worried about the guy. Man.
There's nobody that close to the mic.
Well, I think
I
it's
know,
whoever's filming on their phone.
Wow.
Do you know who originally
Because-
posted that? Maybe we'll know. We can get a doctor to him.
Exactly.
I see. Maybe it wasn't the guy whose microphone we saw on his face. It was
No, I think
somebody
it's the
else.
phone.
Yeah.
I think it's whoever's
Yeah,
filming it on
Eric
their phone.
Woodyard.
Oh, I'm worried about him, man.
Jeez. Don't have a conversation around that guy. Okay, I
Anyway.
have one question. The pass to Kelsey was so obviously not caught, and I don't know how big a deal it was. But what gets me is why is there not some mechanism where somebody upstairs goes beep? Obviously not a catch.
I'm not
I mean,
sure
they
which
just
one you're
run
ta-
up and run.
Which one you
The
talking about?
short catch Kelsey had where he trapped it into the ground.
Oh,
Did you guys
that one.
see
Yes,
that?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was not even
I couldn't
close.
and there was plenty of time to call that. Right.
Right.
In fact, the announcer saying, "Well, he probably still had control when he hit
No,
the
he
ground."
didn't.
I don't think so either.
That was crazy. I didn't even think it was close.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why. And and not to pick on Michigan because it's not their fault, but USC caught a ball. The guy was this far in bounds on
Yeah.
Saturday night,
Mhm.
and they just nobody did anything. They just went back up to the line and ran the next play.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too.
But isn't there some? I mean,
But it benefited
everyone watching
Michigan.
the game on TV goes, "Oh my God, that guy's totally in bounds," and there's no way to get word to anybody. Why is replay so? Why is it so imperfect? I guess that's my question.
Because it's
It
tough.
doesn't
It's happening fast.
Yeah,
I
but
mean-
that's everyone on their couch goes,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, he's way in bounds." That wasn't even close.
Yeah, that one was bizarre.
In fairness, we have an advantage. If you stand on the sideline in an NFL game, I don't see how these coaches see what's going on. You got 22 players smashing into each other. You can't see the guys on the other side of the field. It's amazing how they see what they do. I'm not making excuses.
Well,
for
they just
them.
add one
They
official who just
communicate.
sits and watch a game on TV on
they
the field.
do.
That's
They
right.
do.
Yeah, yeah.
They have people watching.
Then how
the-
could he not
the
get word to
replays.
them that that guy's way in bounds? That's
Oh, you
so
mean
simple.
in the Michigan game?
Yeah. I'm just saying there should be an
Yeah,
official who's literally in the corner of the end zone watching a game on TV. Why not? I mean,
that
it's
is
better
what-
than what they're doing.
That is what they do. They sit in the booth, watch the TV, and they're supposed to buzz them. I have no idea why that one slipped through the cracks. The Kelsey one, I didn't think it was as obvious as you think it was because the
Yeah,
ball's allowed to hit the ground.
but
It
you
is.
see
And-
enough of those though,
and
where
it didn't get jarred out of. I could see his right hand.
but-
It didn't get jarred out of his right hand.
But I agree. I would like to see them stop the game and
Right,
look
and
at
take
it
a look at
and
that.
just
Yeah,
look at it
there's a lot.
quickly.
Yeah.
Can you find that highlight, Brandon? I know it might take a minute. Go ahead, Eli.
Yeah.
Just see if you can find it. I
Anyway,
just want to
you
look
know-
at it again. I thought it was really obvious, but maybe I'm just
There's only two
was
5-1
too caught
team-
up in the moment.
There's 2 5-1 teams left. One of them is the Bucks that come here next Monday night with the MVP, at least so far.
And they're
Baker
banged
Mayfield.
up too.
In
The
fact,
fact
Tony
that they're 5-1 is amazing. There's the play again.
Tony.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, one more time.
Because his left hand is underneath it. I think.
See.
And the ball.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
no,
he-
the
yeah.
ball went straight into the
Well,
ground.
what you see,
Yeah,
his right.
that- you're right.
Yeah,
You're
his
right.
right hand. His right.
Yeah,
his left hand
because
still has
his
it.
right hand moves off of it. That's not a
I
catch.
can't
Yep.
believe they would call that a
Yeah.
catch.
Yeah, it's close. But in the modern day
That's pretty
NFL,
bad.
it's
It
got to
seems
be
like they would
yeah.
look at it. At
Yeah.
That's what I
least.
mean.
That's
Yeah.
right.
No, Taylor was there.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. And Caitlin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Boy,
there's
they
two.
seemed really interested in each other, not the game. I don't know what that means. Did you notice that every time they show them, they're like in the back of the suite? It's
Was
like,
Brittany
Yes.
there? Was
those two girls
Brittany
up to,
Mahomes?
huh?
She's usually the third one.
She's
in.
been wiped off
Yeah.
the planet ever since Taylor Swift started dating Travis Kelce. We don't see Brittany Mahomes. We don't see what's the brother's name?
Jackson, yeah.
Jackson
Oh,
Mahomes.
Jackson's way up. Brittany, I think she's at a cool
Is
club.
Jackson
for right now.
Mahomes and Britt Reed and Shelly Miscavige all in a house together somewhere? You don't see either of
know.
those people anymore.
Hey, Brian, can you check Jackson Mahomes' TikTok and see if he's still doing dancing TikToks?
Okay,
He
back to
was.
football for a second.
Yes, sorry.
So
It's important.
there's only 2 5-1 teams. Baker Mayfield comes here Monday night. I don't think we've overreacted to the Lions' loss today, but there will be massive overreactions should they lose to Baker Mayfield next Monday. Hopefully that doesn't happen. The other 5-1 team, this is funny. Indianapolis is 5-1.
Jeez.
Daniel Jones, reborn in Indianapolis. So they get past the Cardinals 31-27. But Colts backup quarterback Anthony Richardson suffered an eye injury after an accident with a stretching band in the pregame dressing room. Can you imagine?
Breaking news.
Breaking
then
news. Wait, breaking
Jackson
news.
is still dancing.
And then
on
starting
TikTok.
quarterback
Eli
Shavarius.
will not
What?
enjoy such
He
frivolity.
doesn't want to go.
Jackson is still getting down on TikTok.
Who's that? I mean, that's not.
How
his
many
type.
views, Brandon?
She's not his type.
That's his beard. He's got at least 1,000 likes, and I don't see the total views on this TikTok.
So he's getting thousands of
She's
views.
hot.
Yeah.
Can we see another TikTok, please?
Let's see if he's still dancing. Oh, it looks like he's got this beard. Who is this beard?
She
Wow.
likes it because he's not hard. He thinks he's
Yeah.
hot.
The shit that goes for
Keep going. I want to see
content.
another one. Let me see what he's up to.
That's all he's doing is dancing. He's like Britney Spears, except he's not spinning.
Who would waste their time watching this kid? I just don't get it.
Us.
I wonder, is he possibly doing this to try to feminize his brother so people take his brother a little more lightly? So people go, wow, there's some really feminine genes in that family. Mahomes not as good as I think
Patrick
he is.
Mahomes is so dedicated. He's so focused. He's so great at what he does. He's so single-minded. And look at his wife's an idiot, and this kid's an idiot. How does that happen?
I know.
Look
And
at
this
him in a
guy's making
private
money
jet.
doing this
Here he is in a private jet because he's better than you.
because he makes lots of money dancing on
Well, his
TikTok.
brother makes a lot of money,
Well, yeah.
and his dad made a lot of money.
If
I
he's
mean,
only
that's,
getting-
don't
if he-
forget, Patrick Mahomes is a nepo baby.
That's right. He's his dad.
His dad played for the Tigers and the Twins.
Yeah,
He didn't play
Mahomes-
major leagues, did he?
Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
Pat
Pat
Mahomes.
Mahomes,
Uh-huh.
right-handed pitcher, a good one too.
Wow. How did
Yeah,
I
for
miss
years.
I gotta check out his stats.
And now he just likes to drink and fight John Rocker.
That's right. Well, they were really mad at each other.
Yeah, right. Contrived.
Let me just finish this short story here before we move on.
Yes, you're talking about the
After-
great cult under the leadership
right.
of Irsay's daughter.
After Richardson suffers an eye injury, with a stretching band in pregame dressing room, the starting quarterback Shavarius Ward collides with tight end Drew Ogletree during warmups. Ward is sidelined for the game with a concussion.
Oh
They
my
ran
God.
into each other in the warmup. So crazy shit can
How
happen. in
silly.
football. Of course, we haven't talked about the number one story in Michigan, which is not a sports story, but I got to bring it up now because it's on my notes. 24% tax on marijuana on top of the 16 already. Can you believe that? 40% to buy a joint?
No, they just stick it to you.
Sounds like you're going back to the black market.
What is she up to?
That's why the black market's still alive. I mean, first of all, sometimes they run out
Mhm.
and they charge you out the ass.
Yeah.
The other weird thing in the NFL, if we can go back to the NFL, is Joe Flacco. Like, that is amazing. You know what Joe Flacco did
He
yesterday?
did pretty well for
He gets traded to the Bengals midweek from the Browns.
Yeah, I saw him
Starts
playing.
with the Bengals, throws 2 touchdowns. Like, how do you pick up an offense that quick? I mean, I know he's got great receivers and all that.
That's pretty
There's
amazing.
got to be
But
some
I'm also
type of
amazed that he's 40 years old, too.
synergy, obviously, with coaches and experience with,
That's
coordinators
impressive
or
as hell. I think they're cutting
Very
Browning,
impressive.
too.
That is, I mean, that was fast.
Exactly.
Wow.
middle of
It's
the week.
Very
I know.
impressive.
Well, let's we can. I know you guys talk about the Tigers a lot. I got a little bit on that later, but I think the biggest news in America right now, or sports at least, is that Penn State fires James Franklin. I know you talked about it briefly yesterday, but this is nuts. $50 million, and it's going to be not just Penn State, and they gave him everything, by the way. They get $700 million on new facilities. They let him hire
Jim
the defensive
Knowles.
coordinator, Jim Knowles, for $3.1 million a year to be a defensive coordinator. No one has paid more than that. And here you got Franklin. He won 2 playoff games last year. He's really a well-respected coach, except for the fact that he can't beat top 10 teams, and he's out.
He's
gone.
a terrible game coach.
He must
He
be,
is.
because he can't beat the important teams. But look who's been
No,
fired.
he doesn't know when to go for 2 points either. He doesn't know when to
Nope.
go for 2 points. He
Doesn't
doesn't know
know
when
how
to
to
use
manage a
timeouts.
clock.
He
Right.
doesn't.
And
I'm
he didn't,
serious.
and he didn't against USC or UCLA charge the punter in the end
Yep.
zone who took a safety and killed time on the clock.
Yep.
That eliminated. And then on 4th and 2 against USC, calls a dumb play with Drew Aller who gets thrown for the loss.
Yeah.
So then he loses 22-21 to Northwestern, and they fire his ass the next day. $49 million. You don't realize with the money in it's laughable. And now, by the way, the Big Ten is talking about getting private equity to invest $2 billion. So this is really
They don't have any money.
while they beg guys like you alone to send money.
They don't have any money.
So they're going to be paying Franklin $8 million a year for the next 6 years. They're going to have to pay a new coach also, but they're not alone. Stanford fires Troy Taylor. UCLA fires Deshaun Foster. Virginia Tech, your school, fires Brent Pry. Oklahoma State fires Mike Gundy. Arkansas fires Sam Pittman. Oregon State, here's Oregon State. They're 0-7. My God, fires their guy. So there's over 200.
Did Michigan State fire their coach?
No.
They did.
No.
Somebody's tweeting that they fired him.
But Trey Wayne's a former defensive back says
Trey
fire
Waynes? Wow.
Trey Wayne, fire Smith and hire James Franklin today.
Oh, what?
Anyway, $200 million. So these supposed institutions of higher education managed to negotiate $200 million to people they're not going to pay to work there, while they then will add
and they beg you for money.
They'll add a fee to the students, even the ones who aren't on scholarship or can't afford it.
Well, not to mention they're supposed to be spending 20% on players now. I mean, that kind of dips. That's why they thought buyouts would be gone, but this is the second largest buyout ever behind Jimbo Fisher.
Which is saying $77 million.
I don't think you have the perception that a program's in trouble or guys won't come in the portal there.
Well, they already lost like their number one recruits, or he's like, yeah, I'm going to reopen my recruiting. Number one running back.
The players have so much power; they can do it at the drop of a hat. They go, "Oh, bye."
Yeah.
Well,
right,
good.
And what's changed is,
and now all these portals open for 30 days.
You've got a school like Virginia Tech who's paying you some pretty decent money, and they fire the coach because he's 0-3, and they go, "Oh, fuck it, see ya."
Yeah, but that money in now. I mean, a lot of players don't get paid.
How many jobs can you
choose?
do that?
You choose a coach, though, right? You're not really choosing a school. You're choosing.
Yeah, but you are being
program.
paid.
Yeah.
Isn't there any responsibility on the other end?
They're not employees. There's no contract.
I know. I'm just talking about fairness, not the legality of it, or the.
Wouldn't you love to know who this donor was? Because there's got to be one or two donors that called up Penn State.
Okay,
I
saw this.
Rid of him. There has to be.
They got.
I know this is bullshit. So I hate even
You're
repeating it, but I just wondered why someone was claiming this. They were saying that Adidas is paying it. I'm like, why would Adidas pay $50 million to get rid of James Franklin? It doesn't make any sense.
No, that's just money that through Franklin that they pay the university. Franklin gets a little share of that.
What would Franklin? Okay, let's say Franklin goes, "Oh wow, that UCLA job's open, or not UCLA, obviously. The Temple job is open. They're offering me way more money. What would he have to pay to get out of his contract?"
Oh, that's a good. I think he was it 10? I don't know. I don't know, but
I don't understand
why
is it about $50 million? That's insane. That's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
No, in fact, he was underpaid. He was underpaid compared to other coaches that get 11 and 12 million a year. He's only making 8.5. He was technically underpaid considering that he was predicted to. He played for the didn't play for the national championship, but he won 2 games in the playoffs last year. They gave him everything he wanted. He convinced 3 or 4 players, including Drew Aller, to come back rather than go pro. He had everything lined up, and then shits the bed, as they say. So
so if he's underpaid and his buyout is $50 million, what are other people's buyouts? People have bigger buyouts than that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they do.
Well, I know Luke Fickell. They talk about Fickell at Wisconsin because they're doing so bad, and his is 25.
Yeah.
But I think it depends.
No wonder they're begging us for money all the time.
I think it depends how many years are left on the contract.
How about this? Would Bill Belichick be bought out already if he wasn't Bill Belichick? 247 Sports reports that UNC this week discussed strategies to try and reduce the buyout of Belichick because there's other shit going on too. Like a player was injured during the spring game, came with fall camp. Belichick cut him, wouldn't even let him use the facilities for rehabilitation. An assistant coach was suspended for illegal benefits, even though that's, nothing these days, supplying a player's family with sideline passes. So Belichick, it's so awful what he has done there. What is he down 120 to 33 by Power 4 teams?
It is his
He's getting
first,
blown out.
It's his first year at a program that was not doing well.
I'm kind of with you, Drew. And he missed the first portal.
It doesn't work that way anymore. You don't have time to build a roster. You get
Who could
money.
have built that?
You
Who
get
could-
money because he picked the wrong. He let players leave he should have kept, and he got players in the transfer portal that weren't good enough. Compare it to Kirk Cignetti, who's making at India, making every second-year coach like Jonathan Smith, like Sharon Moore, like I'm trying to think who else, look really, really bad because he came into Indiana and did it.
Well,
And so-
Sharon's problem is the opposite of Belichick. Sharon has good players. They're just not
can't
coached
coach
well. And Belichick's a good coach, but he doesn't have good players. But Cignetti, that's got to be a blueprint, you got to believe, going forward, because he basically brought all of James Madison with him. He brought 16.
Well, that's okay.
James Madison's not that
No.
good.
Oh,
though.
they were the year before, though.
Jonathan Smith brought the players from Oregon State also.
Wouldn't you think the Oregon State guys would be better than the James Madison guys?
You would think so.
How many Oregon State guys did he bring just to Michigan State?
But Bill Belichick had no experience in evaluating college, college
or Lombardi,
players, or the third and fourth tier college players. Let's face it, there's 300 teams, 50 players on a team. There's 15,000 or 10,000 college football players. You got to be really smart to find the right ones. And so Cignetti found this Fernando Mendoza, who's amazing. He's like the grad student in finance. He's a brilliant.
From Cal.
From Cal. And so Belichick, of course, the school comes out with a joint statement saying, "I'm fully committed to UNC football and the program we're building here." The university says he has his full support while they're trying to buy him out.
Is that what it is, or is he trying to leave?
Don't know.
Because I've heard both, that he's trying to just get out of there.
He should. Here he gets blown out in the first half against Clemson and against Central Florida. But against Clemson, his girlfriend is still how embarrassing the whole thing.
I know. He really
to come from the pros to put together a team like this, to be the worst coach in college football is looking like right now. And he's got his little bimbo girlfriend parading on the sidelines while all the students leave the stands by the time the first half is over.
Slut.
I cannot believe his dick can run him at age 74. That's crazy. 74. Was he never had a really nice piece of ass before?
I don't know.
His last
Jesus
girlfriend was
Christ,
hot.
Bill. Well, I don't think he's ever had a 24-year-old piece of ass. Not nice.
But the story, the point is, you don't have time to build a roster. Like when Saban went to Alabama and Lou Holtz, they struggled the first few years, but they can build a roster. You can't do it anymore. You need money. You need to get players now, and you need to pay them. You need to win. Otherwise, you're out. And Belichick just did a shitty job, and shame on all of them for thinking. They lost to University of Central Florida 34-9. They have a first-year coach, Scott Frost. You remember him?
Oh, yeah.
He'd been out of college football since 2022, took over a 4-win UCF team, and beat Belichick soundly. So you can do it quickly if you understand how the new game works.
Yeah, I thought he missed a portal or something like that. I don't know. I was just reading about it yesterday. And I was just thinking, God, Bill Belichick, I can't believe there aren't young guys who go, oh, Bill Belichick would have great NFL connections. That seems like a good guy to play for.
Yeah, he missed the December portal, but they were active in the spring portal. They just brought in bad players and lost their two best players. So
who's enjoying his demise more? Robert Kraft, who took shit for firing him.
Or Brady.
Well, also Mac Jones was fired for Bill Belichick, and he's only the winningest coach ever at North Carolina. So it's crazy sport.
I was reading about yesterday, and I don't know why this just popped up in my feed. It was a story about Frank Solich.
Yeah, at Ohio.
He was at Ohio for a long time. He went to Nebraska. He was at Nebraska for, I think, 6 years. He was 58-19, and they blew him out.
Yep.
58-19. Nebraska would kill to have a record like that now.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
But at the time, he only had 1-11 in 1 year. The other years he lost 3 games, and he lost 5 games 1 year when he started.
Could that happen to Penn State, right? I mean, if they get the wrong guy in, what if they turn into the new Nebraska where they just flounder for years?
Never know.
Well, they lost their quarterback. Aller got hurt, by the way, against Northwestern. He's out for the year. So after the Franklin firing, I'm reading the story and all the comments afterwards. So Mike 66A writes, he always struck me as the college football version of the stereotypical used car salesman. A guy named Nick writes back, that's unfair to used car salesmen. Anyway, Michigan, we have two teams in the state. Michigan's mediocre at best. They're not going to make the they're not going to make the playoff at all. They got,
mediocre. They're not mediocre.
They're below mediocre. Well, they're
slightly record.
They're
Well,
slightly above average.
Yeah, they're second tier though. They're behind Indiana and Ohio State.
I think this weekend will really tell how good or bad they are because they have
Yeah,
Washington at home, and
yeah.
Washington's pretty.
We'll see.
Washington's been very surprising. They only have one loss. The metrics love them.
Who have they beaten?
I don't know, but Ohio State's their only loss, and that was a pretty close
Yeah.
game in Seattle.
Yeah, they've. I looked at the record, but they're playing all right. But they're not ranked, and we'll see if Michigan can beat them. Underwood, is not playing particularly well. He threw 2 interceptions, missed some receivers, but he does have a couple of good receivers. This McCulley is good, and the freshman Andrew Marsh looked very, very good.
Too many drops.
What happened to Samaj Morgan?
He's the big drop machine.
He's disappeared. Yeah.
This
But
guy's an excellent runner, though. If you get him some space,
Samaj, yeah.
No, I mean the quarterback.
Yeah,
Underwood.
Underwood, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's a weapon as a runner.
He's a little bit of a scatter arm at this point. They play 4 patsies though. Michigan coming up. Michigan State, Purdue, Northwestern, Maryland after they play Washington, and then before they get beaten at home by Ohio State. But Michigan State, my God, they're favored by 7.5 over UCLA. They led 7-0. They gave up 38 straight points. I watched some of it in horror. They allowed a fake punt, fumbled it twice, failed to convert on 4 fourth down conversions. Not everybody's Dan Campbell.
What's going wrong there? What's happened to their offense? They have some explosive guys.
They have the best quarterback wide receiver comp, or until this year,
Yeah.
but going in, one of the best in the Big Ten, maybe outside of Ohio
They were good
State.
for the first few games this year.
Yeah.
I think Marsh
Playing-
got hurt a little bit.
Well, isn't
playing
that
nobodies.
State, though? They do really well in the beginning of the season, then it just falls off a cliff. I don't get it.
They played subpar teams. They didn't play anybody. That they had to. Youngstown State. Trying to
They had that riveting victory over 1-5 Boston College.
Yeah, right.
I watched them play USC. I watched most of the game. They lost 45-31. I didn't think they were that bad.
Yeah,
I didn't
weren't.
know. I
Not
didn't know
that
how good
game.
USC was or wasn't. But the game was at USC.
Yeah.
They were in the game for a while,
They did play well then.
and their offense can definitely move the ball.
Mhm.
I don't know how they get held to 7 points by UCLA.
Yeah, Childs was 8 for 17, 66 yards before he took a helmet. The helmet hit.
Yeah.
He didn't return.
They only threw the ball 17 times.
Yeah, his
Well, he got
passer,
hurt.
his passer rating was 26. Average.
The backup was
15.
even worse.
Yeah, they're just not getting the bodies. Is Marsh getting any catches?
No, I think
No.
God, did he have
I
maybe
didn't
had
watch the rest of the
one
game.
or 2 catches on Saturday? Yeah.
Wow.
Nothing.
But the
Yeah,
game
they're-
of games was another one that you had the wrong team for that one, didn't you, Mark? You had Oregon, right?
God damn it. Yes.
Yes.
I had the wrong team on every college game this weekend.
Man, I tell you, Indiana they're ranked the highest ever in the school's history at number 3 in the new polls. Signetti won every coach of the year thing last year. There's 8 or 10 of them that he won, including, the big ones and all the little ones. He's the first coach to go 10-0 in consecutive seasons for 2 different teams.
Wow.
And he took over for James Madison. He took over for Tom Allen, who was 3-24 in the conference the last 3 or 4 years. And he turned 1-8 into 8-1 last year. He's amazing. He's amazing. And he's got the receiver that turned the game around, Eli Zaret,
No, I saw that.
winning touchdown.
Your
So-
favorite college player.
I couldn't.
Far.
I don't know why this seemed like such a big deal. Probably because Indiana's good. I was like, oh, when's Michigan play Indiana? Of course, they don't. Will they play Indiana automatically next year, or they play every
I would
3 years, or
think
how does it
so.
work?
I don't know.
I
how
don't
the
know. But
rotation
Michigan
works.
State goes to Indiana next week.
Oh,
You thought yesterday was ugly.
oh,
Oh,
yikes.
boy. Anyway.
Well, at least
Well-
it's on Peacock and no one will see it.
Yeah. Let's clean up the Tigers.
Oh, can I ask one football
Go,
question?
Go, please do.
I swear, I have no idea when you're supposed to go for 2 points anymore because I watch a lot. I don't watch as many games as Mark does, or probably you do, but I watch enough games and I love math. And I feel like, oh, obviously you're not going to go for 2 here, or you are going to go for 2 here. And I swear, either the coaches don't know when to go for 2, or I don't know when to go for 2. I used to feel that it was them that usually were screwing up. But in the Michigan game, they went for 2. And I said, Mark, why would they go for 2? And Mark said, well, they go for 2 because of this. And I'm like, I don't understand how I was supposed to figure that out. They were down 20. Was it 24 to? Oh, no, it was 20.
They were down 11. So you kick an extra point, you're down 10.
I thought
you
they
make
would
the
kick
two-point
it to go
conversion
down by
9.
10, and they went for 2 and didn't get it, and so they're down 11. I'm like, well, now they have to kick. They have to get 2 touchdowns.
Either way,
Why would you go for 2 there?
Because either way, it's a 2-possession game, right?
Yeah, but you need a touchdown instead of a field goal. I figured you'd rather need a field goal and a touchdown for sure.
If you think you're better than 50% at getting it, then you're okay, right? Worst case scenario.
Okay, so there is no card that says how to do it. There's not a card anymore. It's based on how you feel.
They're supposed to have a
I'm
card.
Sure I'm sure they know what their conversion rate is for 2-point
I would think
conversions
that
or
you would
4th
not,
and 3s.
if you had a choice to be down guaranteed 10 or either 9 or 11, I don't know. I would take the guaranteed 10 every single time because I would go, touchdown, a field goal, I'm tied. But if I don't get the 2, then a field goal doesn't do it for me. I have to score 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
but that's not the way, right?
The conversion rate's it's like gambling. It's like 45%. It's just shy of 50%. So you really got, if I'm Michigan, whose offense isn't that good, I probably would have kicked it. But they clearly thought that they could get a 2-point conversion one of those 2 times. The theoretical second time.
Oh, did they not get it twice?
No, I mean, theoretically they would, because
okay,
you would be down 9 and then you could just kick it the next time to tie or win. I mean, and if you don't get it, then you go for 2 the next time and you get it to tie. It's
okay.
It's frustrating. There really is no clear.
I've seen teams chase the 2 and they end up with 24 points on 4 touchdowns.
But you're seeing that a lot more now when a team's down 2 possessions and they score a touchdown to go for 2 there, because if they don't get it, they'll go for 2 next time, and if they do get it, then all they need is an extra point to win. It's like going for 2 at the end of the game. Really, you're just doing it earlier.
It's kind of, how
I guess I'm a bad coach.
Like no, well, hear me out. Say they kick it there, right, and then they score and they're down 1. Would you be mad if they went for 2 to go for the win?
Not necessarily.
Well,
no.
then why not?
Depends.
Why not do it earlier and give yourself a chance to make that up later?
I think
Nobody understands it.
Depends on how you're moving the ball.
Exactly.
Do you feel like you can get 3 yards any fucking time you want?
I think you should go for 2 every time.
Well, it'd be interesting if people did. I mean, Dan Campbell goes for it on 4th
not?
down, and
That's
nobody
what I was
would
gonna
ever
say.
do that.
Well, to that point, why don't teams go for 2 more often just in the middle of a game?
I would think somebody would try it just to see what happens. We're going for 2 every time this year, no matter what.
Yeah.
And
And we're never punting.
It's a little long for a tush push to go for 2. But
But what is it? 3 yards or 2 yards is it 2 yards in the NFL or 3?
2.5.
One of it's backwards.
I'm surprised how often people don't get it. I really am.
Well, you don't have the whole field. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You don't have, just in the end zone. Okay, sorry.
all right,
If we had
well,
that Canadian end zone, you'd see it more often, right?
I'm gonna do my autopsy of the Tigers, but it's very easy to criticize, and there's a lot to criticize, but you got to go with the bottom line. They made round 2 a worthy credential into a 5th game. That was one of the most dramatic and exciting and well-played games, especially pitching wise in history in some ways. Scooble pitched an historic gem, but he was outsmarted by that Josh Naylor. That's another nasty play. But
He didn't even glance. He never turned his head.
It was
the pitch before that, and that's when Naylor said, "Oh, he's not even looking at me, so I'm just going to get a jump." And he didn't fucking look at him. No matter how loud they screamed, he didn't look.
We still owe him a nice fastball right in the abdomen next year.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Next year. But Scooble won't be here next year, quite likely.
Wait, what?
They're going
Or
to
at
trade
least
him.
to start.
They're going to trade him before the season. They have to. They have to.
Before you think?
I don't think they will.
Unless they're committed. Even if they're committed to matching what the Yankees, the Phillies, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, the teams with the money, even the Padres have, unless they agree to match that, then they got to hope that Scooble takes the money from them. He may want to go to a team that's more established, or that he can win with that has a better offense that can support him.
Okay, let me give you my theory. I think they're going to keep him for this year, and they're going to kiss him goodbye. And I think they're going to do that because they can have a 2-time Cy Young Award winner and pay him probably after arbitration about $16 million next year. What a bargain! They can spend the money on other stuff to supplement his last team in Detroit. I just think it's too good a deal to have a two-time Cy Young Award winner for $16 million. Wow, what a bargain! I think that money has a lot to do with
Or
it.
do they start the season and then see how they're
Yeah, and
doing
then midway
at the
through,
trade
yeah,
deadline?
they
But
could
I
trade
mean,
him at the
they're
deadline.
gonna get-
but then you're less in your
At the
leverage.
trade deadline, you're kind of desperate to see what's out there and who needs what and what teams need what.
Well, then
What
if it's
don't-
close and nobody wants him, then you keep him
What is-
for a run. and then
Also,
you get
also,
nothing.
also, you run the risk if he gets hurt next year or doesn't have as good a season, then you can lose. Then you can, lose him that way. But-
$16 million for Tarek Skubal is a winning bet.
What if they
I
get?
don't know. What are you going to get for 1 year of Skubal? Are you going to get guaranteed star?
No. They will trade him to a
It's a sign
team
and
that will
trade,
negotiate.
yeah.
They'll sign and trade. But Scott Boras will arrange the salary from some team.
They're still only getting 1 year.
Well, what they're going to get, they're going to get another starting pitcher in return, who's probably at least a number 2. They got Olsen coming back next year and Job coming back next year. And if they wait for the trade deadline or after the season, they get maybe nothing. Whereas now, they can negotiate with 5 or 6 different teams going into the season and trying to get their fan bases pumped up. They can probably get 2 or 3 players. Who knows?
Do you think there's that many teams that can really be in the negotiations? There's only a couple.
Yeah, but how many were in the negotiations for Juan Soto? I don't know how many, but he got $765 million from somebody.
But wasn't he a free agent?
Yes.
He didn't have a year
Mhm.
left.
No.
Okay, right. He was a free agent, but Skubal's going to be a free agent. And
He's a proxy
and
free
team-
agent
and
if they
team that-
with a sign and
yeah,
trade.
team that
Yeah.
wants him can maybe get more for him at this. Who knows?
I don't know that they're going to give up prospects because someone else is willing to commit $400 and $450 million and go, oh, well, because we're willing to spend all this money, we're going to give you all this for the 1 year. You're really only giving up 1 year.
Well, listen, they got a lot of work to do in the offseason.
And who would give up their precious prospects? My God, how could they sleep?
Well, they don't want any more prospects. The Tigers have enough. They need hitters. You saw what happened 2 through 5
They're going to
in
need
their
arms.
lineup.
Without Skubal, they're going to need pitchers.
They're going to need they need a
Quantity
lot.
over quality.
They're an average roster in terms of talent. They play a little bit better than that. They win 86, 87 games the last 2 years. We don't know whether Riley Green is going to get better. Riley Green is a minus outfielder, even though he makes some spectacular.
I really take
catches.
exception to
He's
that.
a
But
minus outfielder. He strikes out too much. Torkelson, I don't know what happened to Torkelson.
I think Riley Green is more valuable than Torkelson in a second, to me.
Maybe so, but between Torkelson, who is disappointing, they're going to lose Torres, but that doesn't matter.
Torkelson is no value.
Who knows about anything? Who is Zach is Zach McKinstry what he was in the first half or the second half?
He's a combination.
Is Juancil Perez what he was in the first half or the second half?
He's still young.
So they know they need hitters.
They need right-handed hitters.
Seattle got 2 hitters at the deadline, Eugenio Suarez and Naylor, and they both came through.
Yeah, what if those 2 guys were traded to Detroit for that series?
God,
What do you
could
think
you-
would have
could
happened?
you
Gee, I
imagine?
wonder.
Different story. Yeah.
Jeez.
So, but it was a classic game.
And the Mariners-
Seattle management wanted it more.
And look, they both contributed last night too. They
So-
won.
But all in all, it was a very entertaining
Seattle
season.
won last night.
Yeah, 3-1.
Yeah, they beat the Blue Jays.
I saw
night.
Cal Rowley's home run.
Oh, yeah, and he was about to cry afterwards.
Was he?
Well, he just always looks like he's about to just burst out.
And George Springer hit the first pitch of the
Springy
game.
job, yeah.
God, what a postseason player that guy is.
Yeah. That'll be an
Wow.
interesting offseason for the Tigers. We'll see whether they.
What do you think they're going to pick up? What do you think they will actually do? Will they spend money? Because they didn't this year.
I think my guess, what I would say, if it does make sense, like I'm proposing, to trade Skubal in the offseason, they can get a hitter. They can get a hitter, which they need. They have 2 pitchers coming back in Job and Olsen. They're stuck with Flaherty for another year. They could, Melton looked very, very good. So they can argue that they're okay with starting pitching. They probably need a big bullpen arm, and they need some power in the lineup that doesn't strike out 220 times.
They
We'll see what
have
they do.
power. I don't know why that power can't hit in postseason, but they have 3 guys. If Carpenter had been hurt, he'd hit 30 home runs.
Yeah.
They have 3 30 home run hitters. They had a 16 home run hitter. Dingler's going to hit some home runs.
I think the pressure got to Riley and the others also. It's all on the line.
Well, I'll tell you
here.
what, it would help if you had Suarez and Naylor in that lineup. Those guys are
For sure.
all going to be better.
Absolutely.
But
We got volume, though. We got volume.
they need quantity.
Scott Terry.
They need someone from the right-hand side who hits for average contact and gets some walks. That's not that impossible to find. A guy that's 290, even 285 with a little power, and he walks and he doesn't strike out 150 times.
Look what happened in the offseason. They went for Anthony Santander, who had a terrible season for Toronto this year.
He strikes out a ton.
He hit like 150. They gave Bregman a very competitive offer, and he took the thing.
That doesn't
with
count.
The Red Sox.
I don't care about what they offer people.
Well,
no, they could have offered more and had him.
Anyway, I think they trade Skubal. They get the hitter you're looking for. They get maybe a secondary starter, maybe a reliever, and that's what I think they're going to wind up doing.
So Scott Harris and Hinch are having their press conference right now. You want to hear what they had to say about Skubal? This is not a setup. This is actually really just happened.
I'd love to.
Do I regret not pulling the trigger on the deals that we had access to at the deadline? I don't.
Of course you don't.
And I'll tell you why.
Tell you why.
Because you like leaving after game 5.
I'm even more confident now than I was then that the deals that we had access to that we passed on would have frustrated our fans more than not doing the deals.
Oh, my God, the fans matter.
Who are you, Bill Burr?
Fans matter. Idiot. What bullshit that is. We did it for the fans. Fuck you. What a lie.
God, that is such crap.
Shit. Our fans would have reacted negatively. Well, that's okay because you're supposed to know more than them.
By the way, I backed it up. Watch Hinch.
Than not doing the deals. It's really tough in my job right now because I can't share the exact deals for obvious reasons, but I can share
yes, you can.
Some details that hopefully are
because we'd all pull the trigger. That's why you can't.
I would tell you that the players that were most closely connected to us via the media would have cost either a player on our postseason roster plus additional pieces or one of our top prospects plus additional
Then
pieces.
you're not a good negotiator because nobody else had to give that up.
With those deals that were most closely connected to us, those players that were most closely connected to us, those players, some of them didn't perform at all down the stretch.
Oh, like Suarez, who at 193 but had 11 home runs,
and would have cost a player on our
gaslighting you,
roster
Drew.
that
He's
actually
gaslighting
performed
me.
better than the player we acquired and was controllable in the future. So think about that for a second. We could have acquired a player who was going to be a pending free agent on the day of the deadline. We probably would have gotten an A on the trade grades on the day of the deadline and probably would have gotten plenty of
Then you should have
praise
done
in
it.
the coverage.
Yeah.
Only to see that player not perform well down the stretch.
That wouldn't
and
have
the
been
player
your fault.
we traded
Wasn't worried
performed
about
better
the
than
grades
that player this year and be controllable in the future.
you're straining to do some
I don't
explaining.
regret those deals at all.
Oh, so you're happy to be out instead
boy.
of playing Toronto and being ahead 1-0. You'd rather be you.
He
So
said
the
he's
big
even
league
more
team doesn't matter.
He said he's more sure now than he even was then that him not doing
What a
anything
douche.
was the right move.
I'm telling you, my New York buddies are giving me so much shit. Every time they read about him talking about a prospect, he's like, would you tell your GM to stop talking about prospects? Don't you guys care about the Tigers?
I'm going to
And your
give
shit lineup, which he could have improved.
my last
You
story.
don't know how Suarez would have done here. You don't know just because of. Well, what'd you say he did?
He had 11 home runs and drove in
one-
26 runs. Naylor hit 9 home runs. You think we couldn't use 20 home runs down the stretch? We could have been a hotter team going into postseason. We'd have a better lineup. He would make Riley better. He'd make Torque.
He'd also have him
Torque
for
better.
next year. He'd also have him for next year. Now, Naylor's a first baseman, and they're committed to Torque. That's one reason. Who was the other one you just mentioned?
Naylor and Suarez.
And Suarez.
He's a free agent.
Was a bust in the postseason, but he did help.
Well,
you
he's
get
only
there.
played. He's not done.
Yeah.
He hit 1 home run against us. That's 1/3 as many. 1/6 as many as we hit. He wasn't doing much so far, but he's a threat. I mean, you have to deal with him in the lineup. You got to pitch better. You got to give the guy in front of him better pitches. Yeah. There's no right-handed batter in our lineup that anyone made a move for. Not one. Every move was made for Carpenter and Riley Green. Right. No other move. Right. There's no one else anyone fears.
Torkelson scares nobody. Baez scares nobody. Well, he did play well for a while.
Torkelson has batted 110 times and hasn't hit a home run in postseason. That's incredible futility.
Pick, him and my number 1 picks in the draft.
Here's what Harris said about Skubal's future. I can't comment on our players being traded. I can't comment on free agents. I can't comment on other team players. I want to respond by just not actually commenting on it at all.
That's really stupid.
Now, that's
why
just
don't you
pulled
at least
out,
say
but why
we'd
not
love
say,
to have him?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's stupid.
You won't commit to keeping, the best pitcher in the fucking sport.
We're going to do everything in our power.
Whatever.
We're
Exactly.
going to do everything in our power to keep him. That's all you have to
No,
say.
their job is to make money. That's really what his job is. He's one of the
Yeah.
new wave of GMs whose job is to spend as little as possible, get into postseason or get close, be in the
Right.
race, and that's
Right.
about it.
That's it. You're right.
Or they would have bought into this team. When you have a young team that has a September, August like they did last year, and you don't go, wow, we could just spend some money, put a couple great free agent hitters on this team, and we could be really good. But
And
no,
they
that
could-
never crossed their mind.
And they probably, for an established veteran, since they got guys coming up from the minor leagues, they could trade somebody like a Perez. They could trade somebody who's got potential down the road that somebody else would want for an established player. Anyway,
Can I just have for 1 second? How good are these prospects? Does he have an entire rotation on
there's
the way
three of
up?
them. No, there's 3 of them. I don't, I
Well,
think-
what are we talking
he's
about?
tried
He
every
talks
pitch.
about them so much. I'm assuming we have 3
I think
MVPs,
there's a couple
and
of pitchers at Erie, even though Melton
6
made it up for
300
Erie.
hitters and 2 20-game winners.
No, they got Max Clark and they got Kevin McGonigal. One's an outfielder and one's an infielder. Anyway,
Like, last time I checked, Max Clark was not. I'll look him up. I don't want to. I like Max Clark, by the way.
let me just go to my final story here. You can, since somebody mentioned a douche move by Harris, or at least his comments, I'm going to call it in this week's One Douchebag Deserves Another. We have LeBron James and Lakers fan Andrew Garcia. Now, you know this story, right? James tweets last Monday that he is going to recreate The Decision, his special in 2010, with a big announcement. So the breathless nation, including all Laker fans, Laker Nation, is waiting on this decision that he's going to announce that he's going to retire at the end of the season.
Does he announce for Bronny too?
What? So, of course, immediately, some little douche named Andrew Garcia, 29-year-old fan, runs out, assuming the announcement's going to be that he's retiring, and he buys 2 shit tickets to the March 31st game against the Cavs, $865, so he can be there in the rafters when LeBron says goodbye. Well, then he understands the next day that Bron's biggest second announcement is a bunch of shit. It's to announce that he's signing with Hennessy to be their sponsor. Now, Hennessy, of course. So he is so furious. Garcia is so idiot, is so furious. He files suit against James in small claims court for fraud, deception, and misrepresentation.
Guilty.
He wants his $865 back. And his excuse is, I never buy tickets 6 months in advance. I don't put only 4, 5, or 6 hours in advance. I just filed for a bare bones refund. I want my $865 back. So he gets in touch with LeBron's agent in New York, who laughs at the nonsense and basically says goodbye to him. Now he's more pissed. He's going to serve LeBron during a game next year. He says, I'm standing up for what I believe, standing up for other fans who are victims of the same thing. If I were LeBron, I'd buy the 2 tickets for $865. When I make my announcement at the end of the year that I'm retiring, I'm going to let Garcia know I'm giving them to two fans the tickets you could have had to go see me before I retired. So it's the degree of fandom that sometimes just makes you really, really wonder. And that's I don't want to get into the Iverson thing, but
He's been sober for 6 months.
God,
That's good.
that's good. But
He's back with Tawana.
That's
the
that's
best
right,
part.
Tawana, yeah.
his book is called Misunderstood, meaning he's been misunderstood about his fashion choices. But if he went through the 12-step process, I don't know if he did. I doubt he would. Then he needs to apologize to the people he hurt, like
Like
the
Eli.
ownership of the Pistons. No. I enjoyed covering him. He was a story every day. His teammates, he destroyed that team. They were already on their way down. They traded him for Billups. He was an alcoholic. He was a gambling addict. He pissed away his entire $21 million salary.
Did Tawana tell you that?
He couldn't pay Tawana child support the next year when he was out of
He
basketball.
physically threw her out of the house. He physically threw her out of the
She
house.
was nude, right?
He was an alcoholic,
Did Tawana tell you that?
a degenerate gambling.
Yes,
drunk.
Tawana did tell me that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And so the Pistons are on the way down. He just torched whatever they had left. I've never seen a team go from the going to work, inspirational, I got your back Pistons, to this group of finger pointing, just disparate players who didn't want to be there. It was really, really sad. And AI was the reason that Joe Dumars should have never traded for him. But his behavior there was so pathetic, so selfish, so unteam-like. I wish he would. I hope he recognizes what he did at the end of his career. That's all.
He's saying some of the right things. I don't know if I believe him yet. I guess we'll see, right?
Yep.
Okay. What number prospect is Max Clark?
I believe he's in the top 10 in all minor leagues.
Okay. As far as the Tigers, though, he's the second biggest prospect.
McGonigal is number 1, right?
Yes.
And there's a pitcher named
Definitely.
Franklin at AA that they like also.
Pat Caputo's not that impressed with him, from what I hear.
Not impressed with McGonigal?
I know Pat likes Max Clark, but and I like Max Clark too, from what I hear and what I see. This is the future. This is the guy that you would have nightmares if you got a Josh Naylor or a Suarez for giving away this guy. Which, by the way, they were not demanding Max Clark.
By the way, the last shortstop in the system they thought was going to be the next great player was Ryan Kreidler, who can't hit 100 in the major leagues. So you're right. They're prospects and suspects at the same time.
I'll go on another tangent here. 2 years ago, actually go back a little further, 2.5 years ago, two of our very biggest prospects, I think they were both top 5, Colt Keith and Jace Young. Jace Young is now looks like a 200 hitter, 230 hitter. Yeah. Colt Keith was 3 for 31 in the 2 postseasons. He's hit 250 and 260. Is he really? I mean, he's a major league ball player.
Yeah. And he's versatile in the infield. They like him. He can play first, second, and third.
But are these guys going to be a cut above Riley and Carpenter and all these other guys? Or are they just going to be major leaguers like Colt Keith? What are we talking about? He's acting like these are all stars in our system.
Well, my favorite thing too.
You don't know that
McConaughey and Clark are both left-handed hitters. So
great.
Great.
That's right.
All right.
Okay, but I just want to give you Max Clark's statistics. This is what he's losing sleep over losing. Max Clark he started the season in A+, the Midwest 2 League, A+ ball, not even AA. He batted 260 times, 7 home runs, 12 doubles. He batted 285. He did walk a lot. That's the best thing I see in his numbers. He walked 65 times. That's fantastic. His OPS in A+ is 857.
Good, not great, but
no, it's okay. He's moved up to AA. Let's see how much more sleep we're going to lose over the fact that we could have lost him. He batted 171 times, 43 hits, 7 home runs. That's about how many Carpenter hits against lefties, 7 every 170 times. 5 doubles. I mean, not any stupendous power. He walked 29 times. That's good. He hit 251.
What was his OPS?
360 on base average, 430 slugging average, 798 OPS.
Yes.
That's about let's see.
That's good in the major league. That's above that.
Yeah, it's
average of the major leagues
decent.
is 720, but that's the minor
So is he
leagues.
going to hit 100 points higher on his OPS in the major leagues? Because that's how good he sounds when I hear how much sleep this guy's going to lose. I just think we're getting hornswoggled. I want him to shut up about our prospects and talk about our fucking team.
Yeah.
And I want the stupid fans who repeat what he says to shut the fuck up. Stop saying that.
I will say
just because he says it, don't say it.
And what's with the beat writers in this town, if they exist? What's with the
They
free
say
press in
it
the news?
too.
Nobody calls him out on this shit.
How many times have they been fooled by this? Randy Smith fooled you guys. Jesus. Don't you prefer the Mike Ilitch just buy the fucking stars and bring them in and win?
I remember on both
Doesn't always
fielders
work.
when he hired Cecil Fielder, had to pay him at the time $6 million a year. It was a big contract back in the early 90s, like 5 years, $35 million. And then when Prince Fielder comes along, gives him $215 million because that was the going rate. He was willing to pay the going rate to get somebody that they needed.
That was because we lost our left-handed DH Martinez, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not sacrificing this season over an injury. Fuck it, I'll sign Prince Fielder to a dumb contract."
The son is not necessarily the father. Anyway, let me wrap it up by saying, here's what happens with guys and their eyesight. You get to about your mid-40s, sometimes a little earlier, maybe later, and nearby things like your phone or computer screen start to go out of focus. So you get reading glasses. You start with light strength, but you continually need stronger ones every year, 6 months. You deal with that for 20 years. Then you get to 60 or 65, you start to form cataracts, make everything look dull and out of focus. So then you get cataract surgery, which simply replaces your aging and flexible lenses. And it really is an amazing surgery. Clear, fresh pair lasts the rest of your life. But why wait? Dr. Yaldo has bifocal lens implants you can get now and never need your readers again or need cataract surgery down the line and suffer for years with deteriorating vision. I did it. It's amazing. Let Dr. Yaldo show you how it works. Go to yaldoweyecenter.com for a free evaluation. And yes,
Hey, get
I'll
outta
outta
here.
Wow. Ugh, that was a lot.
Get him